Today, we're putting this card back in the meta. Hey guys, this is Tom Box, and if you guys seen me on X, I talked about this. This is gonna be my Thunder Dragon Bystial Ryzeal Nemesis deck. It's a crazy deck. You guys want to see the deck list, how it works. Does it actually work? You guys are probably thinking, it doesn't work, dude. You're like locking yourself out of the extra deck. You guys are crazy. You guys don't know what you're talking about, because yes, you can still summon out this card, but just as you summon out like your Fiendsmith cards, you can put this card out first before the other part. And on top of that, there's also a combo that lets you go into this, the Infernal Flame Banshee, which gives you the Nemesis Flag. Once you get the Nemesis Flag, guess what? You get Archnemeses Protos, and you can lock your opponent out from Dark. For the Malice players, they'll love you, man. They'll give you a high five, shake your hand, give you a job offer. Yeah, that's what they'll do when you lock them out of Darks. Or you can lock out Ryzeal and Fiendsmith by calling out Light. And you know what's the best part about this? You can put out your detonator, create that Light to call, and then when you call it, you just protect it yourself. And same with the Thunder Dragon cards. You can just protect these cards while locking your opponent out. Imagine locking your opponent out of an attribute and they can't search. And one of the best part is when you do it with the detonator, you also turn off your opponent's Metaltronus, because they can't use Metaltronus on your detonator because they can't summon all light monsters. X can't summon, so they can't turn off your board. It's a pretty rough situation. I mean, they can go into, I guess, DuoDrive, get themselves a search, but it's not really gonna go anywhere far without the detonator. That's just a fact, all right? So make sure you guys hit the like button, hit subscribe, ding that notification bell. We're gonna go into the deck list. I'm gonna show you guys how this works, and we're gonna do a couple of test hands, and let's go. Okay, here we go. Starting with the Ryzeal line, we have, of course, 2 Ice, 2 X, we have 2 Sword, and 1 Node. Now, Node is a card that you typically will side out, especially when you're gonna have to go second, because this card is gonna be one of your biggest bricks, okay? It just is sometimes, nowadays, especially when you don't have as much Ryzeal names. Now, as for the Thunder Dragon package, we play 2 Hawks, 3 Roar, and you can side 1 out once you get into game 2, and then we still play 3 Darks. And one additional name we are playing is Duo, because Duo provides you with additional banish, but Duo also gives you a line. When Duo destroys a monster by battle, you can use that to add a Sword Ryzeal, and this is another way that you can go into main phase 2, still make a detonator, because you have Thunder Dragon Duo, okay? And 9 times out of 10, you're not normal summoning if you're only playing a Thunder Dragon package. Now for the Bystial line, we have 2 Bystial Lubellion, 1 Magnemut, 1 Druis Worm, and 1 Baldric. So this is our main deck line for the Bystials. It's just really, really strong. So we're just gonna work with this. And we are playing cards for the Bystial Lubellion to place onto the field face up. We are just trying to maximize this and try to min-max it. This is about a 44 card deck. And then we have 1 Nemesis Flag and 1 Archnemeses Protos. Okay, so that's the entirety of the actually playable monster line, excluding hand traps. Now for spells, we play 1 Bonfire, which can also search for Nemesis Flag. So if you already have Ice Ryzeal, you don't need to perform the line where you make Banshee anymore if you have this as an extra card and you can get the search. Note that most people are playing Drone Lockbird now, so it's a little bit more difficult, but I'm just saying there's an option here. Then we're playing triple Allure of Darkness. It doesn't matter if you have to banish a Bystial name, because if you banish a Bystial name, that means you've already enabled the line to get into the Infernal Flame Banshee. So that's kind of part of why it's there. It's one of your banish options, so it's also draw power and banish option. Then there's also the Gold Sark, and then there's also Chaos Space. Chaos Space is like a god card if you open like your Thunder Dragon package. I think most people that play Thunder Dragon Bystial understand that, hey, you drop in your Dark into your graveyard or your Roar into the graveyard, and then you add the Bystial Lubellion. The Bystial Lubellion adds the Magnemut, and you can get your entire lineup set up for both the Bystial engine and the Thunder Dragon engine. So yeah, that part is there. So these are essentially some of your most important starting play. But this one, of course, you need to pair with the Dark. As long as you can dig into like a Ryzeal card with the Allure of Darkness, it doesn't matter what you banish. But Thunder Dragon cards obviously are the preferred banish, because if you banish a Dark, you can keep the Hawk in hand, and you can kind of mess with your opponent that way. And hopefully you're not stuck with an X, because if you start with an X, that means you're kind of giving up on the Thunder Dragon Colossus line. And then we have Ryzeal Plug and Cross. And that's kind of a given, because you can still set up the entire full board of Ryzeal. That part never really changes. Oh, here's the big 3. 1 Cross Out, 1 and the Triple Tactics Talent, and 1 Call by the Grave. These, I guess these are the big 3. They are essentially 3 of the same card now. They kind of work the same way. But for Cross Out Designator, You can use this to banish one of your cards and one of your monsters and shuffle that back into the deck for your Nemesis flag. I'm just saying that's an option. You can even preemptively call an Ash, really. If you're afraid of your opponent's Ash, call the Ash and then just let it fly from there, all right? It's actually kind of neat. Next, we're gonna go for the actual spells and traps for Branded. We are playing 1 Branded Regain and 1 Branded Beast. This is really important for removal. I think dealing with most like light dark Chaos Angels, you need an out that's searchable. Branded Beast has been kind of my go-to. Branded Regain has been really crazy when you pair this with Allure of Darkness because you're getting so much draw power. You're drawing 2 cards, and if it's a Thunder Dragon card, you're not only getting an additional search or an additional summon, but you get to put the card back into the deck, and then you get to draw another card. So you're drawing 3 cards and getting an additional card through the 2-card play. It's pretty wild when you actually think about it, and that's how we're using it to dig into the consistency of our Ryzeal engine. And that's kind of how I'm playing it. As for hand traps, we're gonna be playing 2 Drone Lockbird because I kind of didn't want to play too much of this card. I'm not really a big fan of Droll personally. I will play it if I have to, but not one of my favorite hand traps because it just means the format's in a weird position. We have 3 Ash Blossoms, which provide us with fire. This other one provides us with wind. And then we have, of course, our 3 Infinite Impermanence. If you include all the Bystials, that's a lot more hand traps as well, so that's 3 more. And that's kind of what we're working with here for the main deck. Now for the extra deck, we have 1 Ryzeal Detonator because it's limited down to 1, and we have 2 DuoDrives. Sometimes, if you want to make sure your combo is successful, you have to toss the additional DuoDrive into the graveyard just so you can reattach it, and so that you have the correct amount of material, even if you have to preemptively burn your cross, which is why I have to play this number. Now, we have also the key monster here, Infernal Flame Banshee. Keep this in mind that you want to get to this monster, and this is your primary banish option. If you banish this card while still holding a flame on board, this is going to summon itself back onto the field because there's a pyro monster while you banish this card. Alright, so keep that in mind. This is very important. This is just your flag, and it technically can also search for your Ice Ryzeal. Alright, next we have the tech pieces. We have 1 Mirrorlogic Aggregate, 1 Eclipse Twins, 1 Excitonet to nuke the board when you need to, 1 Starliege Photon Blast Dragon because if you can full combo with 2 Ryzeal names because you somehow open 2 of them, it's still the strongest board, I think. It's very difficult to actually break since you can't target anything and your card can't be broken. Anyways, Thunder Dragon package, we have Colossus, and another Colossus, and a Titan. We are trying to max out on this because we're trying to summon as many as we can. This is just another option to get another Thunder Dragon banish if you're holding too many Thunders. Don't forget, you can also toss away your extra Thunder Ryzeal monsters, okay? So you can get into this, so you can enable the play. And so you would still hold on to a Thunder Dragon Titan on board. And Titan is another monster that can self-protect. You know, what do you know? So if you want to lock out lights, this is also an option, even if you don't go into Detonator. And then we have Chaos Angel because we got Bystials and we have Ryzeals. Now, I kind of want to talk about some more cards here. We have 1 SP Little Knight and 1 Haggard Lizardoise. Haggard Lizardoise is wonderful because it's a water and it banishes itself. So it kind of fixes a lot of problems for me right away, and even if it does hit the graveyard, it doesn't really matter. But essentially, this is a card that's self-banished, and same with SP Little Knight, which has the capacity of banishing one of my own cards to the graveyard or my opponent. So that enables the play as well. And having SP Little Knight means that your X Ryzeal is probably not going to function as well. So just keep that in mind. You probably need to dig out your Node Ryzeal along the way with your DuoDrive, okay? And that would make up the extra deck. Let's just go into the combo. Alright, so first combo, not going to involve any of the Thunder Dragon, just so that you can eat the extra deck lock. And if you do eat it, this is the kind of end board we're going with. So starting off the basics, we know how this goes. X Ryzeal, we're going to send to the graveyard a Mirrorlogic Aggregator. This card is actually go back in your extra deck if you think about it, but it doesn't really matter. For here, we're going to activate the effect, and we're going to get Sword, Special Summon out Sword. Sword effect is now going to get Ice, and we're just going to pretend we're not getting Drolled at this point. If you do get Drolled, you guys should know your pivots by now. From here, we're going to overlay these two, and we're going to use this to go into our DuoDrive. And even before we go any further, we can also throw the Rebellion into the graveyard, grab the Magnamut into our hand, and we're going to activate the effect of DuoDrive, hopefully getting the detaching. you get the detach, it's fine. If you don't get the detach, we can still banish the Meteorologic Aggregator. And it's not the end of the world, personally, because you can always put this card back. And so we're going to detach 2. And with the detach 2, we're going to grab to our hand the standard plug and cross. Play the cross so that we can insulate ourselves further from any additional disruption. Okay, so now we have to continue our play. One thing that we can do right now is that we can banish the X Ryzeal here. We're going to put it back into the deck no matter what. So we can activate the Magnamut. So this is the card that we're going to use to summon out Nemesis Flag. And we're going to special summon out the Magnamut. We're going to use this to generate additional advantage while we're still kind of protected. So effect of Magnamut, and then we're going to tribute the Magnamut to summon out the Bystial Lubellion. Lubellion effect, if you already have Regain, just play it. If you don't, well, get it out of the deck, and then also get Beast later on, which is also fantastic. So here, now that we get to shuffle back cards, it feels a little bit better, but of course this one's still kind of stuck there. Now we're going to normal summon out our Ice Ryzeal. Ice Ryzeal effect. This has to summon out Node. Node is this thing that we're going to be cycling. We have 3 additional cards here. This is an active card. We put the active card over here. All right, it's a little bit easier to see. And now we can overlay these 2. Not into Detonator, but into the Infernal Flame Banshee. For here, we're going to activate the Infernal Flame Banshee. Okay, here's a tough part. You're going to have to make the right judgment call on this. If you think your Infernal Flame Banshee is going to get negated by something, then because they held onto their hand trap, then you should probably detach the Node. Otherwise, you should probably detach the Ice for just a guaranteed success. But either way, you want to try to leave the Infernal Flame Banshee here because this is going to be your banish material, okay? And if you use this as banish material, it will feel really, really good. Now for the detaching part of Infernal Flame Banshee, you have a fire and a light. This part actually does matter. Now, if you look at the graveyard, you have no light monsters, so you're gonna have to banish your Lubellion later on if you don't deal with this. So ideally, you want to detach the Ice. It's very easy to throw the Node into the graveyard regardless, so always detach the Ice right there, okay? This is going to make sense in a second here. So this is going to provide you with a search. This is going to give you the Nemesis Flag. Nemesis Flag, you can get the summon of Nemesis Flag by activating it, and this will put the X back into the deck, and you can summon out your Nemesis Flag, which is also working out. Now you can activate the effect of Nemesis Flag to get your Protos into hand, and now that you got Protos into hand, like, the reason why, if this gets negated, all you gotta do is overlay these 2 together, and you will be totally fine. And then you can still toss the Node into the graveyard, still revive the Node if you really need to. Alright, that is one of your options. But for now, this is under here. And from here, we have ourselves a light monster, which is the Ice Ryzeal. We have the Meteorologic Aggregator. And we also have the Infernal Flame Banshee as the fire. So we're going to use that as the method to summon out Protos. And Chainlink 1, we're going to go with Branded Regain. Chainlink 2, we're going to go Infernal Flame Banshee, summon herself back. So the Branded Regain is going to put back the Meteorologic Aggregator, so we get to draw 1 card. This is going to be that card we just put back to the top of the deck. But that's the additional draw, and this is going to summon back onto the field. And from here, you can just overlay these 2 into the Eclipse Twins, and then you can also now play your plug to get your Node back. Node effect, send this away, or anything else for that matter. And now you can summon back your Sword Ryzeal. You don't really have space to resummon anything at the moment, so that's kind of the point. Overlay these 2 together, and now you can summon out your Ryzeal Detonator. With the Detonator effect, you can equip the Eclipse Twin so that even if it kind of goes away, you get to resummon out your DuoDrive or your Infernal Flame Banshee so that you always have an access to a copy of Ice. And now you can use the effect of Protos. Alright, Protos to, well, call light so that, you know, during the destruction you can detach 1. What we are going to detach is we're going to detach the Node. And this gives you enough material for your Ryzeal Cross to go off. So you're going to go Ryzeal Cross effect. You put the plug and the Node back into the deck, and so that you can draw another card. And this is the kind of thing that we're working with. This is still your graveyard. End phase, don't forget you're getting another search, so you can get yourself your Druid Worm. And this is what we're working with so far at the end of turn. So you drew about this many cards. You search this card, you drew 2 cards, you have a detonator, you have a Ryzeal Cross to negate a monster effect. Your opponent cannot summon out light monster, anything that they shove into the graveyard. So this gives you a little bit more control against the Malice deck. This gives you control over the Ryzeal Fiendsmith deck. And if they do summon cards, you can summon out your Magnemite. Magnemite will provide you with additional searches for your Rebellions, so you can keep cycling cards. So that's the essential combo if you're just doing the Bystial cards. Okay, before I play out the entire Thunder Dragon line, I'm going to show you guys a disrupted Thunder Dragon line. Say we got Allure of Darkness, this is the standard banish. Of course, we draw 2 cards at. Yeah, we can't use this. This is indicate that you drew 2 cards. Effect of Thunder Dragon Dark, that's going to give us our Thunder Dragon Hawk. Okay, so this is our hand still. We still have the Ice Ryzeal. Say we normal summon Ice Ryzeal effect. That gives us the X Ryzeal because we want to get the X Ryzeal out of the way. We want to get that search first. So we get our Sword Ryzeal into hand and we overlay these 2. And we go into our DuoDrive. However, when we activate DuoDrive, it's met with an imperm. Well, if it's met with an imperm, here's how you pivot this hand. You activate Thunder Dragon Hawk, summon back your Thunder Dragon Dark. Okay, you hear me out on this one. And then we're gonna tribute that one, summon out 1 Thunder Dragon Colossus because we can. And then we're gonna send this to the graveyard because it's also a Thunder monster, so we're gonna make a 2nd Colossus. Next, we're going to special summon out our Sword Ryzeal effect. That's going to give us an X Ryzeal. X Ryzeal, we're going to special summon because we summoned it through Ice, so we haven't used the actual one. We're going to dump the Eclipse Twins into the graveyard, and we don't get the search, but we can definitely overlay these 2 into a Ryzeal Detonator. Detonator effect, attach the Eclipse Twins, and now they're under a double anti-search. And there's about 5 pops on the board. Technically, there's 1, 2, and then self pop. That's 2 pops, and then this is gonna resummon with the attached DuoDrive, and then it's gonna attach 1 more. So it's about 4 pops, right? It's about 4 pops and a double anti-search. If you want to protect your board even further, you can also put them on defense mode. Note that these are protected by 1, 2, 3. From 3 destructions because they are Thunder monsters, and that's how we're gonna work it out. Okay, this combo I'm gonna show it to you twice. I'm gonna start with one with X, which is the weaker one, and then there's one with Ice, which is the strongest one, which you actually get everything. But let's do the weaker one first, and then we'll kind of play our way through. All right. So starting with the X one, normal summon X effect. We're gonna use that to add sword. And now we're going to play the Allure of Darkness, and then we're going to draw 2 cards. We're going to go for dud cards, so just ignore these 2. We're just going to draw 2 cards, and then we're going to banish our copy of the Thunder Dragon Roar. Roar effect, that's going to summon out the Dark. So we're going to now link away both of these, and we're going to link into an SP Little Knight just for safety purposes. Now that we have an SP Little Knight on board, Dark effect is now also going to search for our Thunder Dragon Hawk. Activate the Hawk, summon back the Dark. They don't know where we're summoning from because it doesn't really target. Summon the Dark, now we activated Thunder Dragon from hand. We can summon out Thunder Dragon Colossus. So at least now we have the SP and Thunder Dragon Colossus that can protect each other from the Nibiru play. Card in hand now is currently 5, including the sword. Special summon out the sword because we do have X in the graveyard. And then we're going to use sword effect to grab another copy of X. Now we're going to special summon out X using its effect because we can, and we're not going to get the search. And besides, we already got the search. In this case, I don't think we can load the graveyard with the Eclipse Twins because the DuoDrive isn't going to be sent to the graveyard. So we're going to be sending our Myriologic Aggregator into the graveyard instead. And then we're going to overlay these 2. And these 2 will go into our DuoDrive. DuoDrive can technically attach one of the monsters to the X back onto the monster, and then we can detach 2. This is going to give us a cross and also a node. And with that, we activate the cross to insulate us further, and then we can special summon out the node. Node, we're going to just get rid of 1 additional cards in our hand as cost, okay? And sure. And then we're going to summon back our X. or our sword. Probably sword because that's safer from the Bystials. And then we can overlay these two. And finally, we finish with a detonator and detonator effect that can attach meteorologic aggregator. And yes, you could have went straight into Banshee. Banshee can still do the full play because we still have one banished Thunder Dragon. This particular play forces you to choose between the Ryzeal detonator or forces you to go into the Banshee line, into the Protos line. But if you have ice, now let's restart. This time we're gonna start with the ice, and so we're gonna normal summon with the ice effect, and this is gonna summon out X effect. That's gonna grab us our sword. Overlay the two, and summon out the DuoDrive. At the DuoDrive, activate the Allure of Darkness, draw your 2 cards. We're going to go for 2 duds once again. So there you go, 2 random cards, and we're going to banish the, whatchamacallit, Thunder Dragon Roar. Thunder Dragon Roar effect, that's going to summon out the Thunder Dragon Dark. And from here, we're going to activate the DuoDrive. This is going to give us both spell cards. Actually, no, we're going to go for 1 node and then 1 cross. This is just for the insulation. Activate the cross, take these 2 while we're still not locked out. We're gonna make once again SP Little Knight. Chain Link 1, we're gonna go with Thunder Dragon Dark. Chain Link 2, we're gonna go SP Little Knight. We're gonna banish the Thunder Dragon Dark, and this is gonna provide us with the Thunder Dragon Hawk through the effect there. Activate the effect of Hawk, and then we're gonna summon back our Thunder Dragon Dark. We'll put it back into the graveyard, and finally we have ourselves the Thunder Dragon Colossus. Now it looks the same, but trust me, the end board is going to be different because of what we have already in hand. Next, we're going to special summon out the sword. Sword effect. This is going to grab us the X. Notice that how we still have our copy of Node, and we haven't even gotten to our first Xyz. So we can special summon out our X here. We're going to dump into the graveyard the Meteorologic Aggregator because we're not going to be able to resummon out Detonator based on the play that we're making. We're going to overlay these 2. This is going to allow us to go for the Banshee. But before we even do Banshee, in fact, the better play probably is to make Detonator and Detonator attach the Meteorologic Aggregator. This will make it a little bit safer. Most people aren't going to nib you when you have SP Little Knight and Colossus, but they might nib you here. But even if they nib you here, that means that you can still lock your opponent out of lights because you still have a node in hand. So, you know, they can have fun with that. Or you can still make Detonator and still have a lot of fun with that too. And you're going to be dealing with a Detonator SP with a Thunder Dragon Colossus, so it's still kind of tough for them. Special summon out the Node. Node effect, get rid of 1 of your additional cards in hand. This time, you can summon back your Ice Ryzeal, your X Ryzeal, whatever it may be. Overlay the 2. Now you can go into your Banshee now. Detach with the Banshee. Alright, and get yourself the search for the Nemesis Flag. Nemesis Flag can put the Thunder Dragon Roar back into the deck, summon the Nemesis Flag in defense mode, and then activate Flag's effect, get Protos. Now, I don't want to keep this flag on board. I believe it's more or less a liability, so if that's the case, we're going to have to clear it off the board ourselves. I want to load my graveyard with more names, and I don't want to banish too many Thunder cards, because the more Thunder cards I banish, the worse off I am. And so we're going to take away the Nemesis Flag, and we'll go for, we need a light, which will be our X Ryzeal, and we also need a dark, Thunder Dragon Dark. There you go. Special summon. This right here. And now we can activate the effect called Light. We're going to detach 1 of our materials off of our Detonator. So this is now a Light Lock Detonator with an SP Little Knight Anti-Search, and we have the 1 Ryzeal process. Not really that much disruption. Oh wait, we have to do one more thing. Do we have names in the graveyard? We do. Ryzeal Cross Effect. Put 2 cards to the bottom, draw another card. We'll fix our hand like that, and we get to redraw. So this is the kind of board we want our opponent to actually try and break. But if it's Malice, of course you call it Dark, let your SP Little Knight die, or even just banish it yourself as a part of the material so you can keep your Thunder Dragons in the graveyard. Keeping the extra names is good for you. The extra SP Little Knight, probably not going to do too much, especially against Malice where they really benefit off of it, so it's an easy throwaway for me. And yeah, that's all I have for this kind of combo. So while making this video, it's come to my attention that, hey, I actually don't really need to play the Thunder Dragon package. In fact, you can cut the entire Thunder Dragon package out, which would be about 12 cards, and you can just shove in more Bystials, more hand traps, and you still get to keep your Nemesis line. I'm just saying that's an option. I think that's something that's worth exploring. So again, this is a deck concept. You can break it apart, take pieces out like Lego, and rebuild it to the way that you like to play it. Now, I'm actually still experimenting with it, but this is the current version of it so far, and hopefully it can give you something to kind of redefine the meta a little bit, especially when people can find ways to kind of hard make like Archnemeses Protos. It's like such a crazy card. It's so wild that it's like, why is it still here? And since we don't have a Bystial to shut people out, we can shut people out with the next best thing. And that's all I got for this video, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button, hit subscribe, ding that notification bell, and Thunder Dragons and Archnemeses Protos is coming to a locals near you. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.